If you're trying to lose weight, then you're most likely familiar with the eat less and move more concept. I mean, that's just conventional wisdom. Everyone knows that if you want to lose weight, you just have to eat less and move more. It's also commonly known as the calories in versus calories out method of weight loss. Calories in is eat less and calories out is move more. And in this video, we're going to talk specifically about the move more part, which is exercise. And this is the exact same exercise advice that I give to all my students inside my Fat Loss Accelerator program, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. Okay, nowadays, everyone, including their dog, including me, is wearing a fitness tracker and they're counting how many calories they burned, because it's all about the calories, right? And one of the most popular ways of counting calories during a workout is by doing cardio. And the most popular way of doing cardio is running, because all you need is to lace up a pair of runners and you're good to go. And a lot of people that want to lose weight incorporate running into their daily routine. And if you're really devoted, you'll do it for long distances and multiple hours during the week. And I don't really blame a lot of people for doing this because they have the right intention by following conventional wisdom. Because running burns way more calories than walking. And common sense suggests that when you're running, it feels good to go at an intensity where you're breathing hard and you're sweating, right? So you go hard and long during your run. It feels even better to see that you burn X amount of calories on your fitness tracker. And don't forget the endorphin high that you get after your long and hard cardio session, also called your runner's high. And this all sounds great. So you're moving more, you're burning an extra 1,000 calories every day, for example, because it says on your Fitbit, and then you're eating less, you're eating like 1,200 calories every day, let's say. You do a little math and you're supposed to lose 2 pounds a week in theory. And then you extrapolate that, you're supposed to lose 8 pounds in a month. You're finally gonna lose all the weight, you're finally gonna have your summer body. We're all walking around with a flat stomach and we all live happily ever after. And this is what a lot of trainers, nutritionists, influencers, and so-called experts, and even your doctor, your kind of overweight doctor, this is what they all tell you to do. Just eat less and move more. So it's supposed to work, right? The problem is, it hasn't really worked. It's more of a pipe dream. Now let's look at reality. A typical endurance runner who spends 10 to 20 hours a week running still carries an extra 10 to 20 pounds of body fat, but that's an endurance runner. What about the average person? One disturbing study revealed that 30% of the participants in the Cape Town, South Africa marathon were classified as overweight or obese. That's the same obesity percentage of the world's population in general. Meaning, the physical appearance of the participants in a 42-kilometer race is indistinguishable from that of the spectators. Something's wrong with that picture. It doesn't add up. I mean, calories burned during your 5K run should translate into pounds off the scale, right? Wrong. Here's the ugly truth about running. Falling into chronic cardio patterns, where you're going for your daily 30-minute 5K or 10K run every day, is one of the biggest reasons why you're not losing weight. I'll give you a second to digest that. Because the truth is, chronic cardio doesn't help you lose body fat. And if you've been struggling to lose weight, even though you've put in countless hours on a cardio machine, you already know that to be true. And for this to make sense, you need to know a little bit about exercise physiology. Fat, which is what we're trying to get rid of, burns well in the presence of oxygen. And that only happens when you're in the aerobic zone. Aerobic literally means with oxygen. But as your exercise intensity increases, when you start running, your body's preferred fuel source shifts from burning fat at lower intensity, and I'm going to show you where that threshold is, to an ever-increasing percentage of glucose. Because it's quicker and easier to burn when oxygen is lacking because of your fast pace. When you're huffing and puffing when you're running because you want to burn all those extra calories. And when you burn glucose during your workout, you're also teaching your body to burn sugar at rest. That's what glucose is, even after your workout, because your body always adapts to whatever fuel source is available. And when you go for your daily run, you're teaching your body to prefer to burn glucose for energy, not fat. This is why you're always craving something starchy and sugary after a long and hard run. Are you with me so far? The other thing that you also have to consider is exercise is a type of stress. And doing chronic cardio is pretty stressful. I mean, I'm getting stressed just thinking about it. And when we experience a stressful event, again, whether it's exercise or you're about to give an important presentation at work or somebody cut you off and you're road raging, the fight or flight response in our body gets triggered. Our bloodstream gets flooded with hormones and neurotransmitters like cortisol, which is your stress hormone, dopamine, serotonin, epinephrine, and norepinephrine. And the functioning of all our senses get heightened. And we've all experienced this. This is your so-called adrenaline rush. And it's part of our hardwired evolution back in the Paleolithic times when we were faced with real fight or flight situations. Like, being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. Your body gives you the necessary energy from that adrenaline rush to either fight or flight. That's literally where that term came from. Now go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell if you're new, if you just learned something new right there. And short-term stress isn't necessarily a bad thing. The problem starts when it becomes chronic. And this is where we circle back to your chronic cardio patterns. You're doing workouts like running that are too long, too hard, that's above your maximum aerobic heart rate, and too frequently with insufficient rest. So if you do that every day, 7 days a week, sometimes you do it twice a day, the stress from exercise becomes chronic. And chronic stress levels leads to chronically high cortisol levels. And chronically high cortisol levels leads to chronically high insulin levels. And if you've been following my channel, you'll know how important insulin is when it comes to controlling your body weight. Because chronically high insulin levels leads to insulin resistance, which opens up Pandora's box to all sorts of disease, including obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease, also known as metabolic syndrome. The other thing is that cortisol has a really big effect on weight gain, specifically around your belly. So if you're a runner and you're not losing weight, or worse, you're starting to look like a pear, you're starting to gain weight specifically around your belly, the infamous spare tire, this is why. Simply put, calories burned during your exercise minimally contributes to fat loss. And there are tons of studies that have now validated this, because exercise also stimulates a corresponding increase in your appetite. So you eat more calories when you burn more calories. Again, this is why you're always craving something starchy and sugary after your workout. And this is also where a lot of people justify bad eating habits, because they'll say, oh, I'll just burn it off. And again, this creates the vicious cycle where people think that it's all about the calories. It's not. It also promotes general laziness throughout the day because you think you've already fulfilled your physical activity for the day. And over the long run, pun intended, chronic cardio increases systemic inflammation in the body, leading to elevated disease risk, increased oxidative damage, and accelerated aging. All because you're doing workouts that are a little bit too hard, a little bit too long, and too frequently. This concept also applies to group fitness classes like spin and CrossFit, where every workout is like a near-death experience every day. It locks you in a sugar-burning, fat-storing metabolic state. I know, but don't worry. It's not all doom and gloom. You just need to adjust the intensity of your cardio workouts. You need to slow it down, like way down. So instead of running, you should go for a walk instead. And I'm gonna give all the credit to Mark Sisson for this. He's the author of The Primal Blueprint. And it blew my socks off when I first came across this information. So I hope you're learning a thing or two so far. Because walking keeps your heart rate below your maximum aerobic heart rate. Why is that important? Your maximum aerobic heart rate is the point where you reap maximum aerobic benefits, that's maximum fat burning, with the minimum amount of anaerobic stimulation. And if you're trying to lose body fat, that is exactly what you want. If you go past that threshold, you're gonna start burning an increasing amount of glucose instead of fat. And you stimulate more stress hormone production because it's hard. And I just spent the first half of this video explaining why that's a bad thing. And if you wanna know exactly where that threshold is, you can use Dr. Phil Maffetone's formula of 180 minus your age in beats per minute. And you wanna stay below that when you do your cardio workouts. For example, for me, I'm 33, so I'm gonna take 180 minus 33. That gives me 147 beats per minute, and I wanna stay below that when I go for my cardio workouts, like walking. And when you figure out your maximum aerobic heart rate, you're gonna see that these workouts with your maximum aerobic heart rate in mind are comfortable and energizing. Like when you go for a walk, you feel good afterwards, right? These comfortably paced cardio workouts upregulate your fat burning metabolism because again, you're mostly using fatty acids for fuel. It also improves your ability to burn fat at rest. Other benefits include improved cardiovascular function, which means that your heart can pump more blood, improved mitochondrial density, it strengthens your bones, joints, and connective tissues, it builds a stronger immune system, you get increased energy because you're actually finishing these workouts feeling good and refreshed, rather than a near-death experience every time. So instead of measuring calories burned on your fitness tracker, you should measure your heart rate instead. The nose breathing test also works here if you don't have a fitness tracker, which means you can easily breathe through your nose and talk without running out of breath. And again, walking almost guarantees that you're gonna stay below your maximum aerobic heart rate. Now, I'm not saying that you should never run. Once or twice a week, totally fine. You gotta remember that this is how we evolved as human beings. Our ancestors regularly walked 5 miles every day, and they would occasionally sprint. So a short burst of running at maximum effort when they're hunting or when they're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. They also climbed trees and built shelters, which meant that they're carrying big pieces of wood and heavy rocks. And they were all naturally lean and strong. So it's good to sprinkle in some resistance training to build lean muscle. They did not do 5K or 10K runs every day. I can almost guarantee you that. We evolved to move. Otherwise, you'd be a tree. We did not evolve to run for hours every day and fall into chronic cardio patterns. And that's another point that I want to bring up, and it's just as important. Your goal is to avoid prolonged periods where you're completely sedentary. So you can sprinkle multiple walks throughout the day. And if you're new to this, your goal is to just go for a 10-minute walk every day. Then evolve that to twice a day. For me personally, I do 3 separate 20-minute walks every day. I feel like a domesticated dog when I say that. And a good goal to aim for, if you have a fitness tracker, is to aim for 10,000 steps every day. And that's another thing as well, is that for overweight people, they think that it's impossible for them to lose weight because they can't run when everyone else is running. When in reality, it's actually better for you to walk if you want to lose weight. And it's really hard to overdo it as long as you're not power walking, because that might put you past your maximum aerobic heart rate, especially if you don't have a fitness tracker. And bonus points if you have access to a park, a trail, or a body of water like a river or the ocean. You should do your walks there because time spent in nature is really good for your mental health. It helps with reducing stress, anxiety, and depression. So lace up your runners, get out there, but instead of running, slow it down and go for a walk instead. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach without depriving myself of my favorite foods or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. All right, that's all I've got. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. First, a high five.